All right, I'm here with Mark Komkowicz of Darn Tough Vermont. Some of the most, well, let's see, you can tell me. You've got some great socks in there.
We do. We obviously we feel we have the best socks made. We've been making socks for about 50 years, but we made it for other people. And as soon as that business started going offshore, we decided to take our destiny in our own hands and develop and start our own brand with the edict to make the best sock we knew how. Forget price, forget marketing, forget how to, where we're going to distribute, but really make the best sock and see if that business model worked. And in the last 7 years, we've proven that it has worked. In the outdoor world, we're number 2, and this is our first shot at Interbike.
So the name Vermont, and I have to confess to you, I went to the University of Vermont a long time ago. Yep. So I have I have an idea of what Vermont is in my mind. But to your audience, what is the name trying to project? In particular, there are a lot of socks out there. So how are you trying to be different?
It's interesting when we came up with the name. It was truly trying to encapsulate to incorporate not just that we're tough, but it's also made in Vermont by Vermonters, and to live in Vermont, I mean, it's a cold place to live. You got to be a hardy soul. We wanted to make our socks kind of emulate that as well, and to really just take that Vermont heritage. I mean, the 150 people that we have working in the mill are, darn tough Vermonters as well. So when we came up with Darn Tough Vermont, it was really that concept that it's not just a good sock, but really to try to tie in the fact that we are Vermont. We're known for, maple syrup and cold weather and tough people and great athletes.
Yeah. And from your line, it seems like you're also known for hiking boots as much as cycling shoes.
Absolutely.
So maybe we can just do a quick scan of your products here.
Absolutely.
And we'll stop off, and why don't you show me your hiking socks?
Okay. Our hiking socks, we basically have 3 or 4 sizes of socks, everything from our quarter sock, which the real key on our hiking socks is the density of what we knit. And this goes for our cycling socks as well, but we have a very unique process, and the amount of stitches per square inch is something that our competition doesn't do. We have 1,441 stitches per square inch. What that allows the sock to do, and why we can guarantee our socks for life, is they won't wear out. When you have a sock that's knit that dense, what happens is when you wear a sock out, it's because the loops have splayed apart, and when you step on it, your weight and your movement creates friction, and that's how you wear your socks out. When you're knit extremely dense, when you step down, all it's really doing is going up and down. And that's where we find that we're unique in that. And there's a reason that we're number 2. There's a reason that our most passionate advocates are the ultramarathoners, the triathletes, the guys that hike the AT, the Pacific Trail, the Continental Divide. Those guys are the ones that write us, and they're with wild emails that they just hike the trail, the PTC or the AT in 2 pair of socks, and they write us and they just want to say thank you, and that's kind of the fun part. That's that giving back that we would like to get. But again, getting back to the socks, that's why they're so. Why we can guarantee them for life is how dense they are. We offer them in quarter socks. Our number 1 size height is our micro crew. Again, cushioning on the bottom. In the old days, you needed that 10-inch boot sock because that's how hiking boots were. Now everybody hikes and really light hikers, and you don't need that height sock. We do offer it, obviously. We have socks that have made it to Everest and summited Everest as well. Wow. But not for the normal guy really doesn't need this.
Yeah. So,
yep.
And tell me a little bit about why. What's it mean to you to be at Interbike? What's the you're kind of spreading out.
We've looked at it for 3 years now. We really didn't know if There's a couple different ways to look at the bike industry and how to distribute to it, and you either go with a distributor like Equality or Down East or Seattle Bike Supply. That's one direction. Or you can go with the sales rep, which is what we've kind of decided we were going to do, and you go in that direction. We have noticed that there are a lot of sock brands, and there's a lot of sock brands in the bike industry, but we also have learned from the from the outdoor side that it's never really crowded at the top, and that if we can come in and bring what we've learned and bring the highest quality sock, that will pay off. That edict does work. That business model does work. If you supply or you can offer the best socks, you'll be successful. It's a little harder in this arena because there's more less expensive socks here than are in the outdoor world. The outdoor world, our price points, although we're high as anybody else, everybody else is kind of up there. We're finding that down in the bike side, there's a lot more brands that are less expensive. Like a good chef, however, if you put, you start with the best ingredients, you're going to have the best outcome on your end product. And sometimes those ingredients cost more.
Yeah. And I would imagine you're talking to a lot more people today that haven't heard of your socks before.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this is more of an opportunity to talk to people that you haven't reached yet.
And it's kind of odd because I'm not used to that. I'm used to, people come by at the OR show, at the Outdoor Retailer show, or at the ski show, and they're all going, "Hey, wearing your socks." And we do get that here. I mean, the first thing this morning, a guy walked by, just pointed and goes, "I got them."
Yeah.
So there is, we are known, but it is a lot different to sit here and they go, "Never heard of you. Who are you?"
Yeah.
And you have to it's kind of fun from a salesman standpoint. It's fun to kind of go back to that thing we did 6 years ago when you really had to push your brand and who you are, and kind of sell to that new retailer that hasn't heard of you and tell them why we're so good. Kind of what we're doing right here.
Yeah.
And then they look at the rest of the line and they're like, "Wow, you're not just in the cycles bag." I mean, this stuff here from our ladies side is probably our fastest growing line. We have an insanely good designer, Poppy Gall, who started Ice's brand, and then she's been our designer for 2 years. Incredible with color. I mean, some of the fun things you see, tulips, stripes, Good Witches, our number one ladies sock, just fun stuff. Great with color.
All right. That's Darn Tough Vermont socks.